Las Vegas, the place is up for grabs tonight. Odds 2-1. Jackson will be convicted in 1 to 5 counts. Cha-ching. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Nancy Grace. Thank you for being with us tonight.
Well, they must be fans, Nancy, and there were plenty of them here today.
It's a prayer vigil.
350.
It is a prayer vigil.
They do that too. They do that too.
Make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race.
The trial started February 28th and lasted 3.5 months. The month of May was when our film started to take a different direction. I was filming in front of the courthouse, which is public property. Filming like everybody else, and somehow a woman who was producing for Court TV didn't like being filmed. So this woman who works for Court TV got mad at me for pointing the camera in her direction. So she walked over to me and pushed the camera in my face. Then I was a little bit shaken. I got a little bent out of shape because I was there doing the same thing she was doing. So I decided to turn the cameras around.
You guys want to sing something? Sing Heal the World.
Why don't you sing Heal the World? You sing Heal the World. Why don't you sing Heal the World? Wow, I bet you're loving this, huh? It's good stuff, right?
It is good stuff.
Yeah, I know. You're loving it, aren't you? You are so loving it. So what's your opinion?
Now, while you have your camera on me, I want to tell you something very important.
What?
Tell you something very important. You have no release to use this anywhere in the world for anything except private use.
Why does it matter why I'm filming you?
I'm just reminding you.
Well, you're holding a camera, you're filming them.
I'm reminding you.
They're easy with it. You should be easy with it, too.
You've been reminded.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You must have better things to do with your day.
Oh, I know. So what about you? Oh, you're getting a paycheck, I forgot.
Getting paid to cover this.
Oh, well, you're kind of considered paparazzi, but you're a nice guy, so.
Yeah, no, we're more of the news. We're more news.
Yeah, but I don't know if you can distinguish anymore.
Well,
Paparazzi
the
news,
paparazzi
kinda...
guys are the ones that like sit on the they will chase after somebody. I'm not gonna chase after anybody. I'll sit there and wait for Michael to come by.
Do you think that the media is representing this case fairly? Honestly, your opinion.
I know I am. I don't know, because everybody's so biased. I don't think anybody truly... I think they're either biased one way or another. Because, there's the people who... I think everybody has their opinion made up already. I think it kind of comes out. I don't think anybody's truly not biased.
But what's weird is when you're, like the TV guys, when you're watching it a lot, it's a lot of people's opinions that go out as fact.
I think America has this sick obsession with seeing people go down.
Cameras were not allowed inside the courtroom. So there was this lack of information that was coming actually out of the courtroom.
You got into court today.
Yeah.
You got into court as your second day.
Sometimes you have to let go of your opinions. Stop sifting through other people's opinions and let the evidence be the truth.
It was part of it was interesting. They talked to the social workers that responded to the first allegation. They all said the same thing. I mean, their testimony was that Janet, her kid, Star, and the other didn't. They all said that Michael was an angel. That he was like a father they never had, that he did, so many things for them, and they only had good things to say about him. There was not one bad thing that they could say.
The kid goes to the social workers and tells the social workers everything's great with Michael Jackson. And today on the stand he said, yeah, nothing happened when I was at the social workers. Everything was great. We were great friends. I love Michael Jackson. Then after he meets with social workers, after he meets with the dean of his middle school, after he does all these interviews, he still says nothing happened with Michael Jackson. And it wasn't until he met with 2 lawyers, one of whom sued Michael Jackson successfully in 1993, that suddenly this kid remembers or decides to reveal that this alleged act of molestation occurred.
Wow. Janet Arvizo and her family began seeing civil lawyers about their case against Michael Jackson on February 21st, 2003. It wasn't until June 13th, 2003,
4 months later that Janet told the police about the alleged molestation of her son. While in court, I also learned that the child's mother had been involved in another sexual assault case when her 2 boys were caught stealing at JCPenney. She filed a lawsuit against JCPenney claiming their security guards sexually assaulted her. She won a settlement of close to $150,000, which she never claimed while receiving welfare checks for several years. Janet changed her name 3 times in the last 5 years or so. First, it was Janet Ventura. Then, Janet Arvizo. Now, it's Janet Jackson.
I'll tell you the last word. The mother's name is now Janet Jackson, rather. Do you know that? People in America don't even realize that. She married someone named Jackson, so she is Janet Jackson. And Misled tried to point out today that she's trying to be Janet Jackson. So there's this whole surreal quality to this trial.
2 reporters showed up at Neverland that afternoon. Roger Friedman and Aphrodite Jones.
I'm still a fan, don't you understand?
Both with Fox News. Both looking for some hope of another story from the fans.
I'll tell you what, he did not, I don't think he did molest Gavin Arvizo.
Can you say that?
I do say it. I've said it. Hold on. I've said it before.
10 years ago, when he had a problem with charges of child abuse, and he narrowly escaped it by paying off the family, then he could have had therapy, he could have had treatment. It's heartbreaking to see what he may have done to other children.
No, but I want to, he's filming us, I want to film him.
I'm just wondering, what are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
He's with us anyway.
What are you doing here?
I'm trying to find out what your intentions are here.
What my intentions are?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I can tell you my intentions.
So what is your friend doing here?
Who, Aphrodite or Jim?
Aphrodite.
She came with me.
Is she doing a special report on the freaks around here?
No, we just wanted to come down and see what was happening.
You lied that so bad, man.
Huh?
You lied so bad, you have to...
We really did just want to come down and see what was happening.
Really? Truly?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know? You've been following it this long and you don't even know?
We know.
You've had an opinion every day on television, but you don't know now?
This is the type of behavior that bothered me. Aphrodite Jones comes to Neverland to tell the fans she is a fan too.
I'm not talking about you.
To be this
but I'm saying
monster,
it's like they make you feel like.
Yet here on national television, Aphrodite seems pretty convinced of Michael Jackson's guilt.
This does not look good for Michael Jackson nor his team, and there's a lot of names that we're going to be starting to hear about that makes this a
is so
huge
bizarre.
Story.
So, if this plays out, the prosecution is going to allege that they were going to whisk this family away to Brazil somewhere against their will on some kind of private jet. And
they have the passports, Bill.
All right. I mean, I don't know.
They have the passports and they have the visas.
Aphrodite, don't convict them. They got to have their say too.
I have a responsibility to go out to the public and go, here's what they're saying. Here's what this one's saying. Here's what this one's saying. At the end,
she decided to spend the next 2 years writing her new book about the media conspiracy against Michael Jackson.
We didn't cover the trial, what was going on in the courtroom. You know what we did? We covered the man. We covered celebrities coming in and out. The media already decided that Jackson was guilty before there was ever a trial, based on prior allegations that were allegations, just that.
You didn't think he was innocent.
No.
You were in a trial for us.
I was in the trial.
You thought he was guilty as sin.
And so did everyone else. And I kind of wanted to be one of, follow the crowd.
But you don't think he's a pedophile?
I don't think he's a pedophile.
Okay.
This isn't about just a celebrity being put on trial. This is about a human being, a man who, he's a father. He has a life. He does want a private life. And, I just hope that people can hold on and keep an open mind despite whatever they see on the TV. I just hope they can wait until everything from both the prosecution and the defence have put their cases forward and then make up their minds and then have an opinion.
Will I get the cue to move from the start?
I had never seen anything like this. A reporter reporting a story that hadn't happened yet.
3, 2, 1. Even though his fans will be with him forever, in the end, the jury just did not believe that Michael Jackson was Peter Pan, that what was going on here behind the gates at Neverland was nothing innocent, that there was nothing normal about a 45-year-old man sleeping with young boys. There were just too many previous allegations to ignore. You had idiots like fans.
Art Harris was pre-recording his coverage of the conviction of Michael Jackson. What better place to do it than right there in front of the fans?
Where did you go to journalism school? Where? Why can't you answer my question?
Because if you went to journalism school, you'd recognize that you have to do a job sometimes, okay?
So do you feel that he's being accurate?
Can we ask you a favor?
Don't touch.
Okay, guys. So we don't want any problems. Okay. We don't want to find okay, then probably the best.
They came into there and they started screaming, calling us freaks. Of course, the fans reacted.
Okay. I can't stop them from calling us freaks. Okay.
I wanted to hear what the defense was saying, and I wanted to hear what the prosecution was saying. You couldn't help but want to know more as you started to get to know a lot of the fans.
There was a lottery every morning at the Santa Maria courthouse to allow a certain number of people from the public to go inside and observe the courtroom.
Animal rights activist PETA thought this was a great opportunity to advertise their veggie burgers.
Thank you. Veggie burger?
No, I'm okay, thank you.
The Jimmy Kimmel Show had a Michael Jackson fan impersonator, Tony Barbieri. He thought it would be fun to invite kids into the Michael Jackson bouncer.
I've been bouncing all day with all these kids. Look, I caught a bunch of kids. This is all for you, Michael.
Right. Well, please release them when Michael gets out. Yeah, now, Jake.
I'm not making any promises.
Okay. Jake, so are you going to be bouncing until they deliver a verdict?
I'm hoping to if my T5 vertebrae holds out.
Okay.
You've got the hair and the clothes. You've even got the same vagina. Unbelievable.
We thought, who better to send to the Michael Jackson trial to give us a fair and balanced analysis. It's just an analysis of what's happening. Our good friend Triumph, the insult comic dog, we sent him the other day, and here's Triumph's report. Triumph?
Oh, I think he cried one day on the stand. He cried and he came in his pajamas and then... He came in his pajamas?
But why listen to the... Come on, bring your
No, guys, let him finish. I want to finish saying what I got to say.
Yeah, they're going to edit.
None of us can really know if Michael Jackson is innocent or guilty. But there is one thing we do know. He's guilty.
There you go.
In black and white.
There you go. Jordy Chandler's sketch.
Hey!
Oh, we fired him.
Judge! Jury! Get this into evidence!
KFI Radio had two talk show hosts that came to the front of the courthouse. They had private security guards carrying a box of mushrooms in bags, with a sketch attached to them of Michael Jackson's genitalia. This was supposedly the sketch drawn by Michael Jackson's first accuser, Jordy Chandler, in 1993.
Got the evidence right here!
He gave a description of Michael Jackson's genitalia to the police department. That became a piece of evidence that was sealed in a vault.
The prosecution should have subpoenaed the 1993 boy, and his drawings of Jackson's genitals, which were the smoking gun in that case, never came in.
How you doing? Would you like a mushroom? No thanks. You want to look at it? You want to ask me why we're handing out mushrooms? No? Want to see? That's the Jordy Chandler sketch of Michael Jackson's private there. See how it resembles a mushroom? You see that? Now you want it, don't you? Huh? Sure, you can even eat it. It's hallucinogenic. You'll start seeing Michael Jackson
After
naked in
going
here
into
too.
the courtroom, my opinion did start to change. I know some people might think it's crazy, but a lot of what the fans said about the testimony was true.
Jay Leno was a witness for the defense because he had prior contact with the accuser, Gavin Arvizo.
Jay Leno said that Gavin constantly called the house. He constantly called his office over and over again. He keeps calling, and the thing is that he said that was really odd was how he was talking. He was talking so elaborate, so adult-like, not like a child. He said usually a child would be like, oh, I like Batman, that's my hero. But this kid's like, oh, I love you, Jay Leno. I love what you do. You're my hero, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, what? You're only 13. Why am I your hero? You know? And he thought that was weird. And the way he would constantly talk and kind of talk so elaborate, he felt like it was scripted. This is what Jay Leno said. As well as he said sometimes he would hear someone in the background.
He felt like they were looking for a mark. So that's Jay Leno's testimony. Until just recently, he had a number in the phone book. You could reach him, and anybody who called the Burbank studios and asked for Jay Leno would get switched through, and sometimes, particularly if he was told it was a kid, Leno would get on the phone, and he did in this case respond to a message from his assistant to call this boy who was sick in the hospital, and he did. That's how he had the conversations, and that's how the boy ultimately left as many as 6 or 7 messages, which Leno described as sounding
You know, it's interesting. I
scripted.
had my little cell phone camcorder with me while I was in the witness holding area, and I got pictures of all the other witnesses. Show that picture we got of the other witnesses. There they are. There. There's a bunch of kids that just loose out. The other kids.
Sadly, we live in a state of fear.
Every day we hear of war on the news, on the radio, and television. In the newspapers, always of war. We hear of nations hurting each other, of neighbors hurting each other, of families hurting each other, and of children killing each other. We must learn to live and love each other before it's too late. We have to stop. We have to stop the prejudice. We have to stop the hating. We have to stop living in fear of our own neighbors. I would like all of you now to take the hand of the person to the left and to the right of you. Go ahead, right now, I mean it. Don't be shy, do it. It starts now. To the person next to you, to the left and the right, I mean it, right now. Go ahead, don't be shy, do it. Do it. Now tell the person next to you that you care for them. Tell them that you care for them. Tell them that you love them. Tell them that you love them.
You're with BBC Radio Devon Live. Michael Jackson speaking to the people of Exeter.
This is what makes the difference. Together, we can make a change in the world. Together we can help to stop racism. Together we can help to stop prejudice. We can help the world live without fear. It is our only hope. And without hope, we are lost.
You may already know, after my tour ended, I remain out of the country undergoing treatment for a dependency on pain medication. This medication was initially prescribed to see the excruciating pain that I was suffering after recent reconstructive surgery on my scalp. There have been many disgusting statements made recently concerning allegations of improper conduct on my part. These statements about me are totally false. As I have maintained from the very beginning, I am hoping for a speedy end to this horrifying experience to which I have been subjected. I shall not in this statement respond to all of the false allegations being made against me, since my lawyers have advised me that this is not the proper forum in which to do that. I will say that I am particularly upset by the handling of this mass matter by the incredible, terrible mass media. At every opportunity, the media has dissected and manipulated these allegations to reach their own conclusions. I ask all of you to wait and hear the truth before you label or condemn me. Don't treat me like a criminal, because I am innocent. I have been forced to submit to a dehumanizing and humiliating examination by the Santa Barbara County Sheriff Department and the Los Angeles Police Department earlier this week. They served a search warrant on me which allowed them to view and photograph my body, including my penis, my buttocks, my lower torso, thighs, and any other area that they wanted. They were supposedly looking for any discoloration, spotting, blotches, or other evidence of a skin color disorder called vitiligo, which I have previously spoken about. The warrant also directed me to cooperate in any examination of my body by their physician to determine the condition of my skin, including whether I have vitiligo or any other skin disorder. The warrant further stated that I had no right to refuse the examination or photographs, and if I failed to cooperate with them, they would introduce that refusal at any trial as an indication of my guilt. It was the most humiliating ordeal of my life, one that no person should ever have to suffer. And even after experiencing the indignity of this search. The parties involved were still not satisfied and wanted to take even more pictures. It was a nightmare, a horrifying nightmare. But if this is what I have to endure to prove my innocence, my complete innocence, so be it. Throughout my life, I have only tried to help thousands upon thousands of children to live happy lives. It brings tears to my eyes when I see any child who suffers. I am not guilty of these allegations, but if I am guilty of anything, it is of giving all that I have to give to help children all over the world. It is of loving children of all ages and races. It is of gaining sheer joy from seeing children with their innocent and smiling faces. It is of enjoying through them the childhood that I missed myself. If I am guilty of anything, it is of believing what God said about children. Suffer little children to come unto me, and forbid them not, for such is the kingdom of heaven. In no way do I think that I am God, but I do try to be God-like in my heart. I am totally innocent of any wrongdoing, and I know these terrible allegations will all be proven false. Again, to my friends and fans, thank you very much for all of your support. Together, we will see this through to the very end. I love you very much, and may God bless you all. I love you.